good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are. I've been turning this over in my mind for hours, debating whether to share it at all. But after seeing a recent video of Savannah Guthrie, I realized this story couldn't stay inside me any longer. This isn't gossip or rumor. It comes from a private, off-the-record conversation Roker had with three trusted colleagues at NBC. No cameras, no notes, no distractions. I know one of the attendees personally, and after speaking with them, I feel compelled to share what was revealed. It sheds light not only on Savannah's public composure during this crisis, but also on the deeper, lifelong relationship she has had with her mother, Nancy Guthrie. Understanding this context changes how we perceive her strength and her quiet determination in these deeply stressful days, revealing a profound mix of love, discipline, and vulnerability. The relationship between colleagues and family. Roker, who turned 71 last August, has spent decades at NBC, observing colleagues rise, stumble, and thrive. For over a decade, he has worked closely with Savannah Guthrie, witnessing her grow from a bright-eyed legal correspondent to the accomplished co-anchor she is today. Beyond the cameras, the early mornings and production meetings, he saw the personal milestones, marriages, children, divorces, and professional highs and lows. NBC colleagues often become a second family, and in Savannah's case, Al became a keen observer of her resilience and composure. He noted that while she has faced many challenges publicly, none compared to the fear and weight she feels now. Fear not of the cameras or the headlines, but of not meeting the expectations of the one person whose opinion has mattered most. Her mother. This bond and the way it shapes her actions is essential to understanding her current response. A lifetime of expectations. Savannah's mother, Nancy, raised her children with a combination of love and rigor. Al described a lifelong pattern of lessons Savannah internalized. Excellence in all things, strength under pressure, and composure, even in moments of fear. From childhood through adulthood, Savannah learned to meet her mother's expectations and internalized the belief that showing weakness was not an option. Al reflected on seeing Savannah during this crisis and recognized a familiar, disciplined posture. Shoulders straight, voice calm, words precise. She is performing under pressure because that is what Nancy taught her, even in moments of danger. Her strength now is a direct reflection of lessons learned decades ago. Resilience, focus, and composure in the face of adversity. But it is also an expression of the profound emotional weight she carries, the desire to live up to her mother's standards, even when circumstances are terrifying. Childhood lessons that shaped a life. Al shared stories from Savannah's childhood that illustrate the foundation of her character. At 11, she received a B+ on a report card, which her mother acknowledged not with anger, but with expectation. I know you're capable of better. Next quarter, show me. That single sentence left a lasting impression, teaching Savannah that love was inseparable from striving for her best. Later, at her high school graduation, Savannah, the valedictorian, initially failed to thank her mother in her speech, prompting quiet but meaningful reflection. In college, she resisted lightening her course load, internalizing her mother's lessons that success requires perseverance. These stories, repeated over time, shaped a person who could meet public challenges with professionalism, yet privately carried the weight of constant self-assessment and the drive to live up to the expectations instilled in her. Siblings and family dynamics. Savannah's siblings, Annie and Cameron, also experienced Nancy's parenting style, though each internalized it differently. Annie, The middle child initially rebelled, but eventually realized that resisting the system was more exhausting than embracing it. Cameron, the youngest, quietly absorbed the same lessons of strength and resilience. Together, the three siblings have maintained composure under public scrutiny, following the guiding principle instilled by their mother. Emotional restraint is a form of strength. Al emphasized that this family culture, while nurturing discipline and capability, can also make vulnerability difficult. In moments of crisis, such as now, their carefully measured responses may seem calm to the outside world, but they reflect decades of conditioning rather than the absence of fear or concern. The family's current approach is shaped by a lifetime of understanding that falling apart publicly is not an option. The weight of public composure. For Savannah, every public statement, every carefully chosen word reflects this lifelong pattern. Videos of her addressing the crisis show a poised, measured demeanor, even as she experiences profound fear and worry. Al noted that this composure is not a performance for the public alone. It is a continuation of the lessons Nancy instilled. Stand tall, speak clearly, and maintain control, even when emotions are overwhelming. These moments are informed by decades of discipline, love, and expectation, creating a unique tension. Savannah's professional strength and personal vulnerability collide in real time. What the public sees as grace under pressure is also a manifestation of internalized rules she cannot easily set aside, illustrating the profound connection between her upbringing and the current crisis. Navigating impossible expectations. Al described the duality of Savannah's experience. The very skills that make her exceptional in her career also constrain her emotional expression during moments of profound stress. She has been trained to handle challenges with discipline, but this crisis demands vulnerability, a state in which she has limited experience, even as she communicates to authorities and the public with calm precision. She is navigating a deeply personal struggle, reconciling fear, hope, and the need to meet her mother's expectations, even when her mother is absent. Al emphasized that this struggle is not about control for the sake of appearances. It is about living up to the values and lessons instilled by the person she loves most. Her measured behavior is a reflection of this lifelong relationship, blending survival, love, and discipline in extraordinary ways. Lessons in strength and vulnerability. Throughout the conversation, Al highlighted how Savannah's upbringing impacts both her and her family's public approach. The same lessons that made her a professional powerhouse also shape the way the family responds to threats and crises. Restraint, grace, and calmness are not just personal traits, they are survival mechanisms learned over decades. Yet, this conditioning comes with risk. Extreme self-control can become self-destructive when vulnerability is necessary. Al expressed concern that Savannah, despite her extraordinary strength, may be placing herself under unsustainable pressure, trying to meet standards that were never intended to be applied in moments of acute personal danger. Her life has been guided by these lessons, and now she faces a challenge that tests them in ways never anticipated. The invisible burden. Al reflected on the subtle ways these family dynamics may even influence external circumstances. Their public composure, born of lifelong discipline, can project confidence to observers and authorities, potentially shaping the pace and perception of investigations. Every measured word, every precise statement is both a signal of control and an artifact of training. Al emphasized that this is not a criticism. It is an acknowledgement of how deeply ingrained behaviors can affect real-world outcomes. Savannah's actions, while guided by love and respect for her mother's teachings, demonstrate how the lessons learned from a demanding, supportive parent can persist into adulthood, influencing decision-making, emotional responses, and the family's public presentation in moments of extreme stress. The human story behind the anchor. Ultimately, what Al Roker shared reveals a human story beyond the headlines. Savannah Guthrie is not simply a polished professional executing her duties. She is a daughter navigating fear, love, and expectation simultaneously. Her actions reflect a lifetime of learning, of striving to meet the standard set by her mother, and of carrying responsibility with courage. The videos we see capture only the surface, the poise, the articulation, the calm, but beneath them lies a daughter grappling with the intensity of concern for her mother, while trying to maintain the values instilled in her from childhood. This duality is both inspiring and heart-rending, illustrating the profound intersection of personal history and present crisis, love, expectation, and compassion. Al's decision to share these insights even privately underscores the depth of care he feels for Savannah. He recognized that understanding the full context of her strength is crucial, not only to grasp her composure, but also to see the human vulnerability beneath it. This narrative is a reminder that behind every polished professional, there is a history of lessons, expectations, and relationships that shape who they are and how they respond in moments of crisis. Observing Savannah now, it becomes clear that her every measured action is guided by love and a desire to uphold the principles taught to her. In moments of extreme stress, these principles are both her armor and her burden, creating a story of resilience, devotion, and profound emotional complexity. The call to reflection. As we watch these events unfold, it is worth considering the humanity behind public figures. Savannah Guthrie's response is not simply a performance, it is the manifestation of a lifetime of shaping, guidance, and love. She embodies the lessons of her upbringing: discipline, resilience, and composure under pressure. Yet these same lessons remind us that strength often comes with hidden costs, and that vulnerability is a necessary human experience. Reflecting on this story invites empathy, not just for Savannah, but for anyone who carries the weight of high expectations while navigating personal crises. Behind every poised statement, there is a person striving to reconcile fear, love, and duty, and understanding that story deepens our appreciation for their courage and humanity.